Hey, John Kavakis here for My Take, and today we're taking a look at Stamp's 1953 Cadillac Series 60 Special. Now, in 1953, nothing said you had arrived in life like showing up at an event in a Cadillac, and nothing said to other Cadillac owners that you had really arrived like showing up in a Series 60 Special. The only car above this in the Cadillac lineup was a Series 75. That was meant to be driven by a chauffeur. The Series 60 Special was an owner-driven car. Now, the 60 Special had been around the Cadillac lineup since 1938. That car was designed by a fledgling automobile designer working under Harley Earl. His name was Bill Mitchell. I'm sure you've heard the name before. And it pioneered the three-box sedan design that we still see in cars today. It had a separate hood, a separate passenger compartment, and a trunk that was integrated into the design, no longer a separate trunk, no running boards anymore. That design evolved through the 30s and 40s and became the smooth designs we saw in the early 50s and throughout the 50s. By 1953, under Earl's oversight, the Cadillac design had evolved into what I call automotive theater. Now, we'd come out of World War II. Things were evening out, and we were entering what people know as a jet age. Propeller-driven airplanes were being replaced by jet aircraft, and there was a lot of excitement over that. And we all know that Harley Earl was an aviation enthusiast, and he started incorporating design elements from airplanes into his cars. It started in 1948 when he famously copied the tail fins of the Lockheed P-38 into the 1948 Cadillac. By 1953, they had become an icon of the design elements of the Cadillac. As a matter of fact, they go all the way through today. If you take a look at the Cadillac SUVs and their sedans, they still have vestigial fins going all the way back to what Earl had done in 1948. So this had become a status symbol. It had become something of an icon. But the great thing about this design was everywhere you look, there were references to the jet age airplanes that were flying around the air at that time. And so, if you take a look at the front bumper, it had these prominent bumper guards. Some people call them Dagmars. They're named after a movie star back in the early 50s or so. But they were really made to emulate the nose cone of a jet airplane. You had the fins in the back. You take it to flash guards on the side, kind of elongated design, and looked a little bit like a fuselage. Not quite there yet, but looked a little bit like it. But then you had the chrome trim on the rear quarters was designed to emulate the air intakes on a jet engine. So it was just everywhere, and it all just reeked of modernism and leading edge design, state of the art, and that sort of thing. But there were other things in the 53 Cadillac. It had the one piece curved windshield. Now, they were going to wrap around in another year or two. We saw them on some of the show cars in 1953. It had V8, 331 cubic inch V8, put in a 210 horsepower, 4-barrel carburetor. There's just a lot of really neat stuff on the Cadillac, and it became a little bit of an icon. Now, it was the end of that design that we're going to move into an all-fresh design next year, but this was kind of like the epitome of the Cadillac, and Cadillac had come into its own. They were admired, they were respected, they were still the standard of the world. It was a heady day for Cadillac, and Stamp has given us 3 versions of this model in 1/43. Now, it comes in 3 colors, and here they are: gloss green, Tunis blue metallic, and black. And they're $139.99 plus shipping. I want you to take a close look at them, then we'll talk about where you can get them. So let's get them on the turntable and take a close look. So you can see where Stamp's expertise at putting paint on is on display here. The paint is just absolutely flawless. It's deep and lustrous. It's an incredible paint job, probably better than factory. There's another factor here that needs to be recognized, though. The 1-1 car has what I would call presence. When one of these would show up on the scene, it just reeked of luxury and refinement. And Stamp has captured the essence of the car. It's a great model, but it's also an accurate miniature. Let's take a look at some of the detail. There's a lot of detail here, a lot of it accurately depicted. Stamp uses a heat bonding process for some of the more delicate trim, where other manufacturers would be using photo etch This heat bonding adheres to the car in such a manner that it will never pop off. And they use it effectively in those areas that would cause problems as the model ages. You know, for me, the interior makes or breaks the model. Stamp does a great job. Great steering wheels, great dash, great detail on the seats. Other little details in the interior really stand out too. The package deck in the back, the trim on the front seat, all add to the realism. The grill is amazing, tremendous depth there. Look at those headlights. They are absolutely realistic. And the badging, the right colors, the right trim, minute detail there. The rear quarters have that unmistakable Cadillac look and feel down to the smallest details, even the trunk latch. Accurate detail in the wheels, tires, badging, the emblem on the wheel covers. Those bumpers are just beautifully replicated. One more look at that legendary fin that became an icon and an emblem of the 50s and the 60s, and Stamp has nailed it again. There they are, Stamp's 1953 Cadillac Series 60 Special, $139.99 plus shipping. You can get them at your favorite dealer. You know, I'm sure you have one, but if you don't, Toy Car Geek has them. Legacy Diecast has them. I'll put the emails up there. You probably want to move on them quickly. One of the things I'm seeing about GLM and Stamp, they don't always show up real quickly on the secondary market. So once they're sold out at your dealer, they're gone. And Stamp doesn't sell directly. So that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Let me know what your favorite color is of these three down in the comments below. Comments help the channel. The other thing that helps the channel is give me a thumbs up if you like it. And of course, we'd love to have you a subscriber. I'll be back again real soon with some more videos.